Hello and welcome to Paradox, Untold Stories from Athletic Directors with Dr. Danielle Lapointe and Dr. Dustin Smith. We have some crazy and unique stories for you, which are made possible by our sponsor, Wall of Fame. At the Wall of Fame, our mission is to bring your school's legacy to life. We transform school tributes to make it easier than ever to celebrate your whole community, showcasing your school's diverse history, proudest moments, and top role models. We understand that the true value of our Wall of Fame is in your content. Whether you are starting a new tribute or adding to an existing one, we give you all the resources you need to build an interactive experience and take your content to the next level. Speaking of next level, let's check in to see what Danielle and Dustin have for us today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to one of my favorite episodes that we do annually. This is our season 2 review. So there is no guest today. You just get Dustin and I. Right, Dustin?
I don't know if I want to say just get us.
That's true.
I mean, it sounds like that's a consolation prize. I mean, I think this is like the podium.
This is the Holy Grail. Mm-hmm.
Right. This isn't a bad thing.
Agreed. I agree. This is one of my favorite episodes because we get to go back and kind of revisit everything, and all of the stories and all of the guests that we've had on the previous year. I'm so excited for this. As usual, we don't know each other's answers, and
frankly, we don't know the categories or the rules that Danielle will make up as we go along.
I don't feel like that's fair, but we're going to start this early.
That is accurate.
We might as well.
It may not be fair, but it is accurate.
Might as well start this early. Let's just get to it. So I want to jump right in. And first of all, before we even jump in, actually, I want to back this up for a minute because I want to say thank you because we are fortunate enough to have a season 2. We have enough listeners that are listening to our shenanigans every week, and we have kept us going, have kept us to have a reason to have a sponsor who, thank you to the Wall of Fame for a whole year of sponsoring us and making this possible. And I feel really grateful. We get to meet awesome people across the entire country doing this. And I truly love everything we do with this podcast, Dustin.
And we're not just going to be in the nation. We're trying to go worldwide. We're trying to connect to ADs that are all across our globe. And hear stories from afar, hear stories from close by.
It's like you're doing like a teaser. We got some exciting things coming up, so you're doing like a teaser for the season 3. But we're back in season 2 right now, Dustin.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like before long we'll be like the Friends cast, where we'll be starting getting paid $10 million per episode.
This is not going to happen.
Yeah, that's probably not going to happen.
That's not going to happen. I mean, I want it to happen, but it's not going to happen.
I mean, I think they give us money just to shut up, or me.
I just want to be paid an episode. That'd be great. Are you getting paid and I don't know about it, Dustin?
No, that's not what we're doing this for. I mean, this is for our profession and try to make it better and have some fun while doing it.
Yeah, and laugh. I just think we always say it, but I think it's so important that ADs are laughing. So I'm looking forward to laughing today.
Yeah, I mean, I look forward to laughing every day. Life is a party for me. And you're invited today, Danielle. Our listeners, you all come on and enjoy my party.
Let's go to our party today.
Enjoy my life.
Well, I want to start our party off on a high category.
Well, let's lay the ground rules. Let's talk about what we're doing before we start going to categories.
Yep, that's what I was going to do. So we're gonna talk about some categories. We have 8. They're the same ones we did last year. Okay, we hand out awards. They're highly coveted. Obviously, our awards.
I mean, they're so unique. We haven't even seen them.
We don't even know.
We haven't physically seen the awards. These are more just kind of.
They're there.
Yeah, they're in our minds.
They're floating in the universe. We should make real ones one day. That would be fun.
I mean, I want it to be big.
We should plan this way better and present them at the NADC.
Yeah, that could be a lot of fun.
It could be a lot of fun. We should do that.
We should throw that out there to John and see what happens.
Yep, the Wall of Fame. We should do better. We'll do better, guys. This is our promise to you. It's that we will do better.
I mean, I can't carry the load for both of us, but I will do better.
Okay. All right. Well, we do have 8 categories. So I'm going to go through what our 8 categories are, and then we'll kind of hit the ground running here and talk about what our favorite was and why and who we're giving that award to and We have some good ones to pick, so this is going to be hard, but we have the most extreme category, the best animal,
the most extreme story.
But you can take
Not
it
the
however
most
you
extreme
want.
guest. It can't be the most extreme guest.
We can do whatever we want. See, you're already putting restrictions on me. I don't like it.
These are rules that Danielle just throws her own rules into this, so I don't know that we're playing by the same rules.
It's Danielle's podcast. I don't know why that's a problem.
Yeah, the NFHS and NIAAA would throw you out because you've got to abide by the same rules. You can't make them up as you go.
I'm not. I'm making them right now. I can do whatever I want. So rule number 1. Rule number 2 is the categories. Most extreme, best animal, the one that left us speechless, every AD's nightmare, the best streaker, wild card, the Bless Your Heart award, and most embarrassing. So those are the ones we're going to go through. So everybody can be prepared. Think of your own, at home and while you're listening, and what ones you think are one of my favorite things about this is like when we do this, I'll say one and then you'll say a different one, and it's so cool to remember them all and to go back and how many stories we did and how many stories actually fit in multiple categories. So yeah. Are you ready to go?
I'm ready. I've been waiting for this episode since last year.
Yep. Agreed. Okay. First episode, most extreme. Can I go first?
I don't know that I have an option. It's your rules.
Agreed. Okay. My most extreme. I still think about this and how I would even manage this and react to this. But my most extreme is Michael Banning's pole falling over in the middle of the game. That is the most extreme situation, the most extreme weather consequence. There are so many things in there that makes that qualify for me anyway for the most extreme award. That was terrifying.
There may be people listening today that didn't listen to that episode, and it's his light pole, one of the light poles.
They should go back and listen to that episode.
It was a sucker. That was he even got video for it. So
we had video. If you go over to YouTube, you will see the video of that one.
I just put myself in that boat and like, holy smokes, what do I do in that moment?
Well, viewer discretion on that video too, because it hit somebody. That is why this is another reason why this award wins for me. Is it wasn't just the pole fell over, we had to stop the game. It fell on humans. The official got injured.
Yeah.
Because of this. It was hard to watch that video.
And if it was a foot to the left,
it could have been a whole
lot worse. So thankfully that the young man survived, but man, just a terrifying moment. And that is an extreme. It could be a nightmare story, but it's one of those that Michael Banning was able to talk about, and thankfully, again, the injury was what it was, but there was nobody seriously injured in that process, and that could have gone a whole different way. But Mother Nature's undefeated. She came in blowing that wind pretty hard, and that light pole snapped and fell on that official. And fortunately, it didn't hit a kid. And I say that kid, he was a college kid that was officiating.
Well, and it was like, I think another kid flew back and it missed him by like an inch. Like it was way too close. The whole situation was not good. I think it was terrifying to even watch, even though knowing that everybody was okay from it. So did another PSA, check your light poles, check your scoreboards. I've seen my scoreboards look like rough around the grass line. So check these things. Just another thing to add to our list. But yeah, that was mine. Do you agree? Do you have a different one?
I've got a different one.
Okay.
Because I'm trying to abide by the rules that we established last year of not using the same one in a category and not using this multiple times.
Mm-hmm. That was your rule.
I've got Lauren Sandhop's bomb. Not that he's not the bomb. But
I have that one different. I have it in a different location, but
that was a literal bomb that came into his basketball arena. And I just think about, the call he got. Hey, there's a bomb up front. Wait, what?
Calmly over the radio.
Yeah, like it was no big deal. So Lawrence Hanhop and his bomb wins my most extreme award.
Mm-hmm. That's not a bad one. I have that one in a different category. You'll find out later what category that's in. But yeah, I think that one is. I still don't understand. I know you guys teased me about not knowing what an active bomb versus inactive bomb looks like, but I still don't know. It's not an area that I focused my career on, so I'm still, yeah. Mm-hmm. You'll see. It'll make sense later. I agree with you, though. That is a pretty extreme. He put it in his office. We'll talk later. Okay.
You can have it back after the game.
Give it back to them. Oh my god. Yeah, I definitely can see where you go on that one. So congratulations to our most extreme winners. I don't know.
Yeah, your prize is in the mail or somewhere. I mean, it may be floating in some container in the Pacific. I don't know.
Yeah. On to the next one. We have best animal.
And I get to go first on this because you picked the first one.
Fine.
So my best animal story is Philip Lansdale in L.A., also known as Lower Arkansas, with the service animal of a chicken. And the chicken was complete with a leash and a harness. And I mean, if you haven't listened to that episode, one, you just need to go listen to Philip talk. But number two,
just hearing him explain how it went through his brain was funny.
Yeah, he tried to eliminate it, say it wasn't acceptable, and say, hey, there's no way there's a harness. Check, have a harness. No way it's got a leash. Check, it had a leash. So he had to let the chicken in.
He had to let the chicken in. No, that was a good one. I have not had a chicken at a game before, and I hope I don't. We always have chickens. Every year we have chickens. Remember when we had Coles and chickens in the gym? There's just chickens make their way into every year. I hope that trend keeps going. I enjoy the chicken stories a lot.
Yeah, it was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I just enjoyed. Lansdale, I call him my wingman, but he is funny. Just listening to him talking, he had story. He just kept going with stories in that episode. But the chicken one was pretty good.
Yep. So my animal one, I had a couple listed. He was definitely one of them, but one that I'm going to go with is Corey Adlin and the bats. Do you remember when he was telling us, and these bats ended up flying around his gym, and he chose self-preservation over
I remember well.
He was like, "Good luck,"
and knowing Corey like I do, I mean, he just went and protected himself. But that doesn't surprise me that Corey is worried about himself and not worrying about everybody else. There's some voodoo with the South Dakota folks, and specifically with Corey. And there's a lot of stories. I think I told that story about what happened with Dan and Darren Coe and I, and eventually Corey as well. But yeah, that was the best part of that was he tried to protect himself. He didn't worry about everybody else.
But not only
that was a theme for this season too, and we may get to that with another story later. But
yeah, and that was kind of my favorite part is that he was like, "Yeah, I went in self-preservation mode." He wasn't even trying to hide it. He was just they were everywhere, and I hid, and it was great. So I also one of those situations, like, what are you gonna do? You have bats in your gym. I mean, there's not much you can do, and you know that. I know
that
that
all too well.
So
it's a bad situation, and I mean, I can understand the sense of I'm not sure what to do with this, but I don't know that I can get behind just going and ducking and letting everybody else fend for themselves.
I mean, it depends on how many bats I feel like I need to be put in the. I'd like to think that I.
Easy. You didn't even get on a tennis court with a dead alligator.
I did. There's photos, and you don't want to be the person to find out that it's not dead.
Kind of like the bomb.
You don't want exactly like the bomb. Exactly. The thing was twice the size of me. I have photos for it.
I mean, there's some. I mean, that category was pretty fun just because of that. But we also had Doug Lockridge and the miniature horse that.
Oh yeah. Honorable mention. Mm-hmm.
And it went down the little walkway that was back and forth, and he just saw that whole thing. And the story behind that was a pretty good one too. But
we always have some.
And Corey's your winner.
Yep, we always have some really good animal ones. I like the animal stories, so congratulations to those winners. I don't know if it's like a proud thing when you have the most extreme stories and we're picking you for the rest of the country. I mean, we're calling them winners.
They definitely stuck out. You're a winner in our book.
Be proud of your award. Well, the next one is the Speechless Award, and I take it as which one left me the most speechless. And this is where I put Lauren Sandhoff's bomb, because I still don't have words. See, like I don't know what I'd do if it came over the radio. I don't know what I would do with it once I saw it. Like, would I call 911? There's a possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean that one was. I mean, it was interesting for sure, and I guess the delivery of Lauren and just how calm he was in that process.
Well, and he was one that I met at the Washington State Conference, so I heard the story in person before we had it on the podcast, and I just was like a real bomb, like the way you're right. He's so calm about it. He's like, they brought a bomb. What? That's not normal.
Yeah. I mean, it was not something that would make you feel like, okay, this is safe. You know, we do bomb threats all the time, and what your reaction is, and everybody leaves, and no, that didn't happen. He just went and put it in his office. Said, I'll give it back to you later. Come check with me after the game.
Left me speechless. I'm still struggling for words on that one, and I still don't know how to tell the difference between a active and inactive bomb.
I think I mean that's a solid choice. For me, it was Matthew Welsh and his fan that made his own penalties and gave himself his own punishment. And the best part was Matthew just saying, okay. I mean, he volunteered it up, and Matthew's like, okay, sounds good. Yep, let's do that.
No, you're right. You're right, because you're that doesn't happen. That's not the experience you're ready for. And yeah. What do you do when a fan's like, this is what we're gonna do? I can't come to games.
Yeah, I'm gonna I guess I'm throwing myself out. Or I guess I'm being removed from the gym. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. And I know that Matthew's responses were yes, and I mean he just agreed. But I just see myself being in that spot thinking, did somebody really just volunteer themselves to do this? I'm not having to convince them. I'm not having to get security. I'm not having to.
Yep.
Well, then the guy wanted to fight.
Well, then you walk away, right? And I would have been like, what just happened? Like, were there witnesses? Did anyone see what just happened? That's a good one too.
Yeah, that was for me. I was just speechless, just because I've never had anybody volunteer their own penalty.
Mm-hmm.
No, it repeated, and then he threatened to say, "Hey, let's take this outside and settle this."
Things went downhill quickly.
So, I mean, it was, and then somebody stepped in. So for me, that's my speechless story, just because it still baffles me to this point that somebody would willingly enforce their own punishment.
I love that both of our speechless stories still have a speechless. We're both like, what?
Yeah.
What? Why?
And shout out to Matthew. He's a faithful listener. Introduced himself to us, and I think he has just been, or will be soon, CMAA. So he's accomplished that and gotten that certificate designation. So Congratulations, Matthew, not just for that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And that's a good designation, but it's not anywhere near a Paradox category award. So
yeah,
it
ours
pales
are
in
way
comparison
higher.
to this. I mean, this is way higher.
Way more prestigious.
So you've left us speechless on a number of fronts.
Yes. All right. So congratulations to Lauren and Matthew. You've left us speechless, which is hard to do, especially you.
Yeah, I mean, because I can talk.
We know. So, all right, moving on. Next category is every AD's nightmare. So this is, I feel like this is one that you pick as your nightmare, but like it's every AD's nightmare. Every AD I can think of would not want this to happen to them. I am struggling between two on this one. I have two.
You don't get to pick first, so this is my category to pick first.
I can't hear you. We went out there. I didn't hear what you said.
This is my category?
No, I heard you. I'm just choosing to ignore you.
Right. No, so you lied. You heard me.
All right, you go first. Let's see if you pick one of the ones that I had. And if you do,
my pick is Mike Mossbrucker.
Oh, it wasn't on him. It wasn't on my list.
The football game where the lights went out and they had nothing but mud and out in the middle of the field and trying to make decisions and trying to schedule it for the next day and what that
cell
looked
phone
like.
Lights.
And I mean, I know Phil Risen jumped in there and talked about a graduation ceremony that they had with lights going out and they didn't practice what they were supposed to practice. And but Mossbrucker for me is the nightmare that I would have, just with total power, not just lights, but power.
Yeah,
completely out.
Yeah,
on a Friday night football game.
Oh, agreed. That is a very good choice. I don't know any AD who wants their power or lights to go out on a Friday night during a football game.
So that's why it fit into my nightmare story.
Well, my nightmare winner is Dante Gouge's watering the gym floor. Remember when his custodian didn't know how to properly clean the floor, thought he was doing a good thing, and legit took a hose to the gym floor and just started watering it.
Right.
Like a garden. Right.
Yeah, you still are struggling with that even after.
I cannot even imagine, because then not only was it so wet and so bad that it ruined it for a long time. Like that, how do you even explain to people what happened? I mean, Dante did, but like, no amount of planning he didn't do anything wrong to make that happen. That's absolutely awful.
Yeah, that I mean, I've got a Dante story for another category, but I mean, that one was, I mean, wood floors don't take water well.
I mean, that's a lot of money too. That is a big mistake. And I don't like that one. That one gives me nightmares. My other one that I was gauging between was Tyler Chapman's and having to assign all of his own officials, but then sometimes the opposing team doesn't show up anyway.
Yeah, they don't come and say, we've had enough. What? We've traveled every way you can travel and as far as we can go.
They already left too, and they went for hours, and they were like, nah, we're done. We're going to turn around. Like, what?
Yeah, this is a better idea. Let's just turn around.
So those are two for very different reasons. But those were two of my everyday nightmare. But yeah, Dante's just has me. I just have this image of somebody whistling with a garden hose, thinking they're doing a good job. That's the worst thing too. You can't even be angry. It's not like a leak in the gym floor where you're like, this sucks. Like, this person was trying to do something good.
Right.
So now they did not.
And I'm just telling you, I mean, I say Tyler because you mentioned him earlier, but Dante in that situation, I mean, I just imagine walking in and be like,
Yeah, maybe that's a speechless one too. I don't know. I mean,
No, I mean, because you got to solve it. I mean, you can't just let it stay out there. So, maybe they get Rob Seymour and start squeegeeing and getting his, try to push all the water off.
Keep the water off the floor.
Maybe we tap into our inner Rob Seymour.
Yeah, that's a perfect example because he's over here frantically trying to keep it off the gym floor, and Dante's gym floor is a puddle. Yeah, no, I don't like it. I'm stressed out now.
Yeah.
So, all right, our next category. This one we had to have some creative liberties on. But this one is best streaker.
Is this mine?
No, it's mine.
Oh, I didn't hear what you said. What? We went out for money. Is that the way we go with this?
I see what you did there. Okay, best streaker. I pick Andre Walker's annual runner. Now, granted, he is clothed, not a streaker, but I put him in this category because he is a annual runner, and this is the first and only story we had that was ongoing, right? Like this was an annual thing that's happened for multiple years, and he's elusive and he's still out there, I believe, right?
Yeah, which makes me, I mean, I'm still trying to figure this out, and Andre's a good buddy of mine. I'm thinking, the field that he does it at, the team that's involved. But I do have an update. I talked to Andre at the national convention regarding this scenario.
Ooh, let's hear it.
And we thought, our goal was to either extend the streak, see what I did there, or to end the streak. So the update is this streaker did not participate in this event this year.
Oh, I'm kind of disappointed.
So I asked Andre, I said, did you catch him? Because I was all excited. I saw him there, and we did our typical greeting and visited for a little bit. I said, okay, did you catch? I got to know, did you catch the streaker? I mean, was he elusive again? He's like, he didn't even show up this year. So I would like to be on record as saying we cracked the case. We made sure that didn't happen because the word got out. And
absolutely, he heard our episode for sure.
Right, he knew people were gonna be on him.
Yeah, no, he was scared.
Yeah, like a rat on a Cheeto, we were on it, and we made sure that took care of.
You're welcome, Andre. Right. You're welcome.
I mean, I think you should give us an award, Andre.
We should.
Forget us giving you one.
We fixed your problem.
Right. Well, you should have called us 8 years ago or whatever it was.
Yep. What about yours? Which one do you have?
Well, this is where I got to take some creative liberty because Andre was our only true streaker
runner.
I
don't think he wasn't streaking, right? He had clothes on.
Well, yeah, but streaking is, I mean, you could be streaking down the road, you can be streaking down the field.
Yeah, I guess so. All right.
Yeah, don't. So
Sorry.
It doesn't mean you have to. I mean, we had Emily Barkley that had a chicken that was a streaker.
It's true.
But anyway,
wrong season.
Right. So I say that we've set a precedent that it could be. So I'm opening this up a little bit, and it wasn't physically a streaker that our guest saw, but it was more of a conversation, and it went awry real quick. Like real quick. He was giving a child a ride home in his own vehicle, and the kid started talking about bedroom games.
Dion.
And knowing Dion like I do, I can just imagine like, oh, we've crossed to a level I'm not prepared for.
Oh, yeah.
So it wasn't technical. Well, I guess, I mean, it could have been.
I mean, it was at home. Yeah. That was a very uncomfortable situation, for sure.
So that's what I got.
Your secret streaker.
Right. The secret streaker that we don't know was really a streaker, but think that it was a streaker. It was just behind the bedroom doors.
Bedroom games. Yeah, I remember bedroom games. Yeah. He had great delivery on that one too. Okay, so congratulations to our best streaker award winners.
And I'm not sure that's a category you want to win either.
I don't really think you want to win any of these categories.
Well, I mean, there's some good ones, but anyway, that's our streaker. I took some creative liberties there, but
if you win one of our awards, that means something crazy has happened to you, essentially. Mm-hmm. Yep. So the next one's one of my favorite though, because this could really go anywhere. But wild card. This is your wild card. Which one are you wanting to call out? Yeah, whatever you want to go here. What are you thinking?
So we have 3 categories left.
Yep.
And I've got 4, 5, 6 stories I could fill in.
Nope, you can't do that.
I know. I make my own rules. That's rule number 1.
There you go. There you go.
So I would say my wild card is probably, I'm going to say Steve Robinson.
Okay.
And the entire episode is funny, a lot because of just the delivery of Steve. But it covered a wide array of things. And we could talk about the gator, his gator being stolen. And
the grunting was my favorite by far.
Right. I mean, you didn't let me get to that point. I'm
I know,
still trying to make
so
it. I'm still
excited.
I mean, you put a tracker on that gator, the next gator he had. But the wash your eye out episode with Steve Robinson and that story just throughout. And that's where we got introduced to Masanari Taguchi, which may come to play in a little bit for me. But Steve Robinson and the wash your eye out story, just that whole process and having to explain it to his wife. And
well, just he didn't want anyone to know that he did it, so he's like suffering in silence and grunting, and he did it for me at the national convention. It was just as funny the second time.
And the custodian was like, "Is that you grunting?
You okay?" Yeah.
Still hilarious to this day. So that's my wild card.
It is. So my wild card, you just talked about him, Minnesota Taguchi. He kicked out the entire student section. The whole student section gets booted, and I just think this is funny and unbelievable. And it's my wild card for sure. I mean, that's not what you expected to happen. Ever.
No, not even close. I mean,
all of you. And they went. I
mean, knowing Moss, and he gave us his dimensions.
Dimensions.
He gave us his fighting weight, and if you're in a boxing match, you see the reach. Yeah. He didn't give us that, but he gave us the height and the weight, and I mean, he just looked at the whole student section. You got to go see you, every one of you.
And they went though. Like that's still the thing. The kids weren't like, no. They got up and they went, and like everybody was just okay with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you saw Moss. I mean, I'm not questioning. He tells me that, and I think about the dude that went out on the track and wanted to run with his shirt off and all that. I mean, just that episode's pretty funny too with Moss, just knowing who he is.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's definitely my wild card. Those are some good wild cards. We did good. We're doing great.
Entire episodes are pretty good, but
yep.
Yeah, you think of Steve and Moss, just both from North Carolina. I mean, both of them. North Carolina is well represented.
Yep, absolutely. Well, moving on to the next one, we have the Bless Your Heart Award. Yeah. I get to go first. I get to go first on this one.
Okay.
I love this one. I still think it's funny. Thomas Fredrickson's fire alarm. He was so hyper focused on his game day plan and being down to the minute that when the fire alarm went off, he could not be bothered. And it just so happened that it was real. He did not evacuate the gym. Ended up being real. They had to evacuate it, and then obviously things really got off track from there. But yep, that is the one that wins Bless Your Heart Award. And then on top of that, I know what you're going to say. you're gonna comment on how he left his wife in the burning
Yeah,
building.
yeah. I mean,
She's still his wife.
yeah. I mean, she's still his wife, and they have children even from that point on. So, uh,
She forgave him.
yeah, she forgave you. But I'm thinking, man,
Hmm.
the I don't know if I want to call courage the word. Um,
I think he
when
was
we
in the zone. He was just in the zone, and like this is getting this game off. It was a big game too, so poor
yeah,
guy had to happen during
and
that
the
game.
the best thing about it is he's telling the story. So he's telling the story, and with telling the story, I mean, you could have some liberties and leave some of that part out. I mean, we didn't have to know he left his wife in there,
I'm glad he told us though.
but I wonder if that was the subject of conversation, like when he got home, like, "Oh, I remember you leaving me."
Yeah. So that is why, for multiple reasons, he wins the bless your heart for me. What about you?
Man, there's a couple that I could go with, um, and I know my guy Chris Satterfield. I could bring him up, and just that situation. I figure you're probably going to throw him out there at some point. Uh, Billy Tips dealing with the "Don't Be a Richard," and they thinking that they were part of the streak, if you will,
Hmm.
for their girls. They couldn't play well.
Superstitious. Hmm.
So I could do a wide variety of those, but I'm gonna say Dante Gouge. But here's the reason: his wedding at halftime of a football game that he's coaching in, and and he was furious that he had to put on long pants. He didn't
Oh
get to wearing
man.
shorts.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I don't know if I call that bless your heart or I'm super proud of you, or like I said in the episode, I think he's the envy of every guy in the world, or he's drawn the ire of every woman ever.
Yep. Yep.
So
It's a
I
good
think
one.
bless your heart for both of them, because Freddie, with him, bless your heart that you even one, acknowledge that, and two,
Yep.
have to live through that.
Hmm.
But two, with Dante and
Yep.
having a wedding at halftime.
Well, and I think Lisa is a good one to throw in here too. Remember with the ropes on the track and people were just
Oh yeah, my
driving
girl
into
C.
yes. They're just
Yeah,
driving into the ropes. Like what?
yeah. I mean, it just blows your mind just to
It
think.
does.
And if you think about it, if you know Lisa C, she's not the tallest person. Um, her
I can just see
dimensions
her
would be,
looking at you like,
yeah, just see, wow, just the rope, and knowing that person put the rope up.
oh man, I know. So that was another one that was close on my blush your heart right there was whatever coach that that was.
Yeah, I just feel bad for
Yeah.
that situation.
Hmm.
The,
So
I mean, Dante. Oh, that means I get to go first on most embarrassing,
you do. Our next one is the most embarrassing, and you get to
and you
go
don't get to pick
first.
the same story.
I didn't agree to that, but
Yeah,
okay.
we established that rule last year.
Hmm. Hmm.
And it's probably one of those moments you didn't hear me
Hmm.
or
Probably.
listen to me.
Hmm.
Um, but I'm going with my boy Chris Satterfield.
No, that's mine.
Yeah, no, he's my boy. I got to go with Chris.
No, that is
And the
mine.
best thing about Chris is they hadn't even started the game yet. He just bent down to pick up a dodgeball, and he tore his Achilles.
Oh my god, in
Yeah, and
front of everyone.
I mean, I'm a bit disappointed the kids just didn't start waylaying him just because he's an easy target, immobile, whatever.
Mm.
I mean, but he talked about going in the. I mean, he's lacing up his sneakers. I mean, this meant business to him. He had some kids he was really ready to tag, if you will, with a dodgeball, and yeah, he tore his Achilles and was out. And I just imagine that conversation with his wife too.
Yeah. No,
You
I
did,
had
wait, you did what? And did you get one kid out? No, I didn't even throw a ball. I just picked up a ball.
I mean, he's not going to live that down ever. Like, even after the kids graduate, that story is going to be passed down. The teachers are going to remember it. That's a hard one to come back from.
Yeah, that one's really hard to come back from.
Yeah. So, I had Chris Satterfield down there as well when he went down in dodgeball in front of everybody. But that is the hazard of the job. We talked about that. Athletic directors are asked often to play in these games. The other one that I had, you mentioned it earlier as well, ruined all of my most embarrassing award winners, was Dion Burks when the child started talking about bedroom games and he was like,
yeah, whoa, hey.
Trying to get out of that conversation without making it a thing. So yeah, those were my two. But I mean, realistically, I think this is a hard category because all of them can kind of be, this happened in my school, so there's this one is this is a good category, but also one that's a lot of stories are worthy of. What a good season. There was
it was phenomenal.
It really was. It was a great season. Congratulations to all of our award winners. You'll have nothing to show for it.
No, don't say that.
We don't have a lot of pride. Physical. I meant physical. Like there's
right.
nothing.
Okay.
We'll fix that. We'll work on that. We'll get better.
Maybe we should ask Matthew Welsh to just volunteer his own award. Just turn the tide on him.
We're gonna figure something out. We're gonna figure something out and get some awards and make this a fun thing to give to everybody. So
maybe we should just do like your face and say "I'm sorry" on the bottom.
No, that's an awful idea.
That's the "I'm sorry" award.
We were doing so well. We were doing so well, and things
I thought it was a great idea.
Downhill very quickly.
I mean, I'm all in on it.
No. Nope. So yeah. Well, I think I'm excited for season 3. I already know we have some great guests that are lined up. And thank you again to all of our listeners for keeping us around. I mean, when we started this project out a couple of years ago, I don't think I would have thought it would have gotten to where it is today. And I am really, really grateful for it.
Well, one thing before we wrap this thing up, we mentioned last year we needed to do a "How Do You Even Function" category with, in honor of Zach Clark's story, or Zach Clark's wife. Remember when she asked that question of how do you even function, when things go awry?
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I would have thrown both, and we mentioned both stories, but Freddie and his wife leaving her behind, and Corey ducking for cover and just worrying about self-preservation would have been the two that I thought would probably fit in that category.
Mm-hmm.
And since I didn't use either one of them, I was going to go ahead and throw them in that category of how do you even function. But Greg Smith would also be one that could fit in there. Now, Greg says he won everything, whatever. But I would throw Greg Smith in there as well.
I was just going to say, I was just actually thinking about Greg. But he's like a little workhorse, so I can't throw him in the how do you function category because he's all over the place. He's amazing. Yeah, poor Freddie. He's gonna get that one for me too.
I can't get behind the "he's amazing" comment.
Why? I love Greg Smith.
I mean, I
he's all over the country. He's helping ADs. He's so happy and positive, and he can literally take anyone down whenever he wants. I can't give him the "How Do You Function" award. I'm impressed.
I witnessed that.
He impresses me.
Yeah, I would. That bar needs to be set a lot higher.
Maybe we should have an impressing you've impressed me award. Greg Smith gets it.
Do you remember as we look back at some of these episodes, Tony Fisher tracking down the officials? He found them.
I will have officials for this game.
Right, I will. Will Fears and all the fighting that took place in his stories, if you remember.
So much fighting.
Like
so much fighting.
There's some things that could have been thrown
in there. Yeah. Yeah. And also, not only I say thank you to our listeners, but I want to say thank you to all of these guests too, because I really do think, we sit here and we tease them and they're all really good sports, right? So, we ask them funny questions and we tease them, but at the same time, the value they're providing for all other EDs who are listening is massive. So every single award winner here, like, thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for being vulnerable and letting every other AD know that every AD is dealing with situations like this. And I don't know, I just think it makes it so much better when we know, okay, these situations happen and we can learn from them and we can prepare for them through other people. So thanks to the guests as well.
Yeah, and thanks for our listeners listening and tolerating this, both of us, and my shenanigans and my questions. A lot of people say DS-isms, my statements. I look at it from a different lens than obviously Danielle does most of the time, but appreciate your willingness to jump on here and appreciate your willingness to keep tuning in and listening and sharing the laughter and, via text or just seeing us at the national convention or whatever it may be. Just taking that time to listen, and hopefully you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you've laughed. Hopefully it just gives you an opportunity to just hit the relax button for a moment and just kick back and say, okay, it's not as bad as, it could always be worse. And I'm glad that stuff didn't happen to me. And, it's just, the intent of this podcast was just to have some fun. And I hope that you've laughed and hope you've laughed along the way and hope that you've laughed during this episode and look back at some of these stories. And if you don't remember them, if you haven't heard those episodes, those ones we've highlighted, just go back and listen to those. If you want a glimpse of some fun, there's been some fun in these episodes this year.
Oh, absolutely. That's what we're here for. We're here to have a good time and grow professionally. So I echo everything you said. Thank you to our listeners. Thank you to our guests. And we are very excited to have season 3 that's going to follow in a week. So be on the lookout for our new guest and a new story.
That wraps up this episode. Thank you for listening, and thank you to our sponsor, Wall of Fame, who excels at telling your school stories and supports us in telling ours. Check out the description of this episode for a link to receive a discount on all Wall of Fame products. We are looking forward to the next story and hope you are too.